once again to a Sunday night Showdown Truck Series here live from Bristol Motor Speedway. Tonight's race is going to bring a very intense racing, a very short and not very kind track to some of these drivers. Who is going to be our race winner? Will it be a repeat winner, or will we be seeing a new winner on tonight's race? Let's go ahead. We're just now finishing up qualifying, and we will go right down the running lineup in just a moment. Let's get ready to go down our lineup here. Reese Schaefer here on the front row with a very good lap time. He's going to be joined by Andrew Chapman on his outside. Then heading on to the second row will be Joseph Causey and Colby Jackson. Colby Jackson starting up front. He's been starting pretty much in the same position the past couple of weeks. Now, he hasn't gotten the finishes that he's probably deserved, but looking to be aggressive once again, more than likely tonight. Directly behind him, we will have Rob Hamp, Reese Hamilton. Following in row number 4, Stoney Benfield, Justin Levine. Row number 5, Brock Piper, Jordan Berry. Row number 6, Bryce Shoemaker and Austin Edstrom. In row number 7, Jason Miz and John Berry. And then in row number 8, Derek Garrison, Justin Day. Aaron Kay, Jim Foskett will make up row 9. Keith Shoemaker and Eric Garrison will come from deep within the field. And then in the final starting spot will be Landon Matherson. Let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's weather. .72 temperature outside with 3 miles an hour wind to the west. Partly cloudy out with a track temperature of 76. So a very cool track, and I expect it to drop here as this race goes on. Our race analysis: 250 laps, 129 miles. Stage 1 is 125 laps, followed by the final stage of also being 125 laps. So it'll be a pretty even split right down the middle. And then we will go ahead and look at pit road speed, a very slow 35 miles an hour. Pit road is going to be kind of dangerous for some of these drivers trying to get as much out of their truck. We might see some speeding penalties, and that is not something you want to have at a track like this. You'll have 5 sets of tires behind pit road wall, so plenty of tire sets, or maybe if you're another driver in the back of the field getting into trouble, maybe not enough sets, but 5 sets to change with a field window of about 115 to 130 laps. Now getting ready to take the green flag, Reese Schaefer, Andrew Chapman, green flag in the air, and we're off and away from Bristol Motor Speedway. That was Colby Jackson we saw there on that first lap have that big slide coming off of turn 2. He's going to be in 7th position. Now get from Justin Levine. A little bit of contact right there coming off of turn number 4. Still holding strong on the outside though. Now he's making a move to the outside of the 75, trying to make up some of those lost spots from that early slide. That's going to allow Joseph Kazi to slide into second position right behind Reese Schaefer. These two drivers are very good drivers, especially at a track like this. They know how to manage their tires and how to push and when to push. Single file mostly throughout this field. I spoke to a few drivers and it sounded like there was going to be some tire wear that was kind of concerning on the long runs. Maybe opening the door for some of these guys to try and save early, then pounce longer into this run. I heard drivers say that they didn't really feel comfortable with the right rears when this run got into about the 40-ish lap mark. And we'll have to see if some of those drivers struggle with that, if they maybe push too hard early on and burn up the right rear, or if maybe they burn up the right front and end up pushing tight. Colby Jackson now looking to get 5th away from Rob Hamp on the outside. And caution in the back. That's Rob Hamp, I believe. Rob Hamp's going to bring out our first incident of the night. We'll take a look at in just a second and see what exactly happened with that. And we saw Colby Jackson was battling him hard right there. I'm not sure if Colby Jackson had anything to do with it or not. So coming off of turn 4, hard battling, and looks like Rob might have anticipated Colby to be a little bit further up against the wall. Not that really Colby had much room up there, but either way, Rob Hamp tries to use a little bit more track than he had and got into the door of Colby Jackson and sends himself for a spin into that inside wall. Doesn't really look like there's a lot of damage though, so Rob Hamp should be able to come down pit road and get this damage on that nose fixed and be relatively fine. However, that is going to hurt the tires a bit. And I don't think you really would want to take tires here at lap 15. You don't know though. Some drivers might try and play a little bit of strategy into this and try and take a set here and see if it works out later into this run. Reese Schaefer, though, out front for the time being, looking to continue on with his defending title from the past 3 seasons, looking to make it 4 consecutive championships in a row. And we honestly, we really haven't seen the power out of Reese Schaefer like we have in these previous seasons, we've had different winners, and he's still looking for his first win on this season. So really, it's kind of coming down to a lot of competition and just Reese Schaefer not being able to get the finishes that he needs or that he wants. Back underway, green flag back in the air. We're racing once again at Bristol Motor Speedway. The 18, the 73, trying to make this high side work. And that's the 4 of Reese Hamilton there on the bottom, getting worked by both these drivers. A little further back, Rob Hamp trying to make some progress. Eric Garrison and Justin Day going at it for 15th position. Justin Day going to get that spot away. Now Eric Garrison's going to have to defend a hard charging Rob Hamp, who's going to try and make up some ground from that incident just moments ago. Derek Garrison back here in this one truck in 13th position. He had a very good week last week at Las Vegas, led quite a bit of that race. Again, wasn't broadcasted, unfortunately, as I was not available to do so, but he was able to lead quite a bit of laps. Unfortunately, didn't come up with the win. Last week's winner is running 6th currently. That's Justin Levine. Justin Levine able to hold off a late race caution and get the win last week at Vegas. Looking to back it up for 2 in a row here at Bristol. And he's sitting in a pretty good spot right now. He only in 6th position, not too far behind the leaders. He's also another one of these drivers that really knows what he's doing and knows when he needs to push, how he pushes, and I think we'll definitely see him stay around this top 5, top 6 area, maybe even potentially go on and give some pressure for the win. Justin Levine now able to get around Colby Jackson for that 5th position. Colby Jackson had contact there with Rob Hamp, and you wonder if maybe he has a little bit of left side or right side damage from that contact. And these trucks can be a little aero sensitive, so if you're Colby Jackson, you're probably trying to ask your crew chief or spotter if there's any visible damage, and if there is, how much it can be fixed on the next pit stop. If it's affecting that handling, you really would want to get that fixed as soon as possible. Not really a lot of time here to fix any damage, especially under green flag pit stops. I'm not sure if we'll see any happen tonight, but that will be something to watch out for if we do. Lap truck of Jim Foskett there in that 47 on that high side, getting a little out of shape right there. Maybe even into the wall a bit, trying to stay out the way of the leaders going around him. Colby Jackson with another big slide right there. And you wonder if maybe the handling on that truck has kind of gone away. We saw that big slide on lap 1, and that definitely can really affect your tires for the whole run if you're not able to cool it down. And even then, it still takes out a lot from your tire. Back up front though, Joseph Causey, Reese Schaefer keeping a fairly close distance to one another. Reese Schaefer continuing to put guys a lap down here. Lap traffic going to be something that we'll have to watch out for too. Majority of these guys do a great job at keeping out the way of the lead lap drivers, but we do have incidents here every once in a while that do occur, so this being a very small and short track, there is just not a lot of room for these guys to maneuver around. And we'll have to watch out and see what happens with these lap trucks in tonight's race. So far though, only one caution coming around to lap 44 this time by. Two trucks a lap down. That's the 8 truck of Landon Matherson right ahead, going down a lap as we speak. So that will now be 3 trucks a lap down, with a few more in front of the leader of Reese Schaefer. That being Keith Shoemaker, Aaron Kay, Justin Day, and Eric Garrison right there as well. Eric Garrison, though, has this one win on the season. So if you're Eric Garrison, you might not be too worried, but you also don't want to put yourself in a hole this early into tonight's race. Only 46 laps in. Bryce Shoemaker making some noise early on as well in 8th position. Colby Jackson continuing to fall back, now back to this 10th position. Getting pressure from Austin Edstrom directly behind him. A big slide and a big wiggle right there coming off of turn 2. Able to hang on to it, but continuing to lose spots and lose them quick. And you can just see those hands move back and forth, just trying to keep this truck in line. Colby Jackson losing another spot to Rob Hamp. Rob Hamp back up to 12th position since his incident just a little while ago. Oh, the 74 with a big slide right there. That's John Mary, able to hang on to it though. Maybe a little bit of issue coming back up on track. Maybe got into the left rear of Colby Jackson. Both these trucks have been extremely loose though, and have been a handful for those two drivers the past couple of laps. Still sliding for Colby Jackson. Maybe a little bit of a wall slap right there off of turn number 2 right there as well. And if you're Colby Jackson, you really just gotta I hate to say it, but you just got to hang on and just stay tough, as he's having another big moment right there. The struggle is continuing on this 73 truck, falling back quickly. Just watch his hands going to the corner, not straight at all, and just moving. You see that big crank to the right, just trying to keep it going straight. And you really don't want to pit here. And then we got a caution out on track. I think that's the 8 truck of Landon Matheson. You don't want to pit, and this is actually going to be a really big break for Colby Jackson. He'll be able to come down pit road and get some tires and get some more grip in that truck. But the last thing you'd want to do is have to pit under green and lose 3-4 laps and then not be able to get them back in a race this long. That would be really crucial and not good for your chances at a decent finish. Let's see what happened to Landon Matheson here. Oh, again, another handling issue coming off the corner there. Could have been a little bit too much throttle, which sent his truck around. We'll take a look at it here again. It kind of sounds like, I don't know, he really wasn't putting that much throttle into it. I stand corrected. It sounds like he was just trying to be a little too aggressive, and unfortunately the truck wasn't willing to keep the rear end underneath it, and just around he goes off of turn number 4. Contact with that inside wall as well. Well, drivers making their way down pit road for the first pit stop of the night. I'm sure a lot of these drivers are relieved to be able to get that caution right there. They'll be able to come down pit road, take 4 fresh tires and Sunoco fuel, and be able to kind of reset their race here. That was probably a really good run for a lot of these guys who may have not really had the chance to get a decent long run in practice. So that may have opened the door and allowed some of these guys who were struggling with handling, like Colby Jackson, Landon Matheson, John Barry, may allow these guys to have a shot at being better this green flag run, now that they know what to expect. We're going to get back ready to go. Green flag racing. Green flag in the air. Reese Schaefer leads them once again. 2-1 and 2. Joseph Kazi cleared for second. Austin Edstrom, Brock Piper. We'll see what Colby Jackson just says. Oh, contact right there. That's Brock Piper hard into the outside wall. Will it be a caution? Yes, there will be one finally. But a big checkup right there on the backstretch. A lot of front end damage to this 15 truck. Missing that left side. a bit right above that wheel well and the rear end, it looks like. Brock Piper will make his way down pit road. And drivers have one fast repair in this race. If you have a lot of damage like Brock Piper did, you probably elect to take it, and it looks like he did right there. And that was a pretty quick little repair session. So Brock Piper going to take his fast repair here. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what exactly happened. Racing Rob Hamp right here. Was there contact? No, it looks like he just tried to get a little bit more out of that truck, and it sent him around. Oh, collecting the 37 and the 54, as well as I think that was Reese Hamilton in the 4 truck. So another issue related to handling. Take a look at it right here again. Going into 1 and 2. He might have thought that Rob Hamp was going to apply a little bit more pressure and may have sent it in a bit deeper, anticipating a race, but unfortunately just wasn't able to hang on to it. And around he went, collecting a few other trucks with him, unfortunately. Just innocent bystanders. Back up front though, Pace truck is going to work its way around one last time, and it'll pull itself off the track here in just a moment, and then we'll go back. Green flag racing with Reese Schaefer, Joseph Kazi, Rob Hamp, Austin Edstrom, and Colby Jackson, your top 5 drivers. Green flag back in the air, and we're underway once again from Bristol Motor Speedway. Field mostly spread out for the time being. Reese Schaefer able to get a big gap over Joseph Kazi for that second position. Rob Hamp now moving into 3rd place, and he's going to have Colby Jackson hot on his heels. Now we'll have to see what Colby Jackson decides to do this run. See if he maybe uses up those tires a little less this time, knowing that his handling went away within that run, that earlier green flag run. Jim Foskett there going another lap down. Justin Levine able to get around John Barron. We got another incident here. I think that's Brock Piper again. Yes, it is. Another spin and more damage for Brock Piper in this 15 truck. Not sure what exactly happened. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Hard racing here with Reese Hamilton. Oh, and a little bit of contact there from the Ford truck coming off of turn number 4, I believe that was. And that unfortunately sends the 15 of Brock Piper into the inside wall. Take a look at it again. Just looks like the Ford truck was trying to use a little bit more track. And just, there was no room right there for that 15 and that Ford to pretty much have the room that they wanted or needed. And unfortunately, Brock Piper, again, with more damage, unfortunately used that fast repair, so he'll have to come down pit road and get this fixed. So our early few cautions here, kind of not really what I think some of these drivers wanted. I think these drivers who had a handling on their race truck on these long runs really wanted to see this race go green so that they wouldn't have to be bunched up by some of these guys who like to burn up their stuff and kind of challenge them early on into these race runs. And that's something that we've kind of had to watch out for these past few weeks. There's been pretty consistent cautions throughout the race. Usually we get at least a couple green flag runs in. We haven't really had too much of a problem with getting a green flag in. It's just towards the end of these races, drivers knowing that they're bunched up and that they have a chance to gain positions, it just kind of releases a bunch of craziness. And I think we've had at least 2 or 3 straight weeks of a late race caution within the last 5 laps. Back under green flag racing though, Reese Schaefer gonna take them into turns 1 and 2 with Joseph Kazi hot on his heels. Another great restart by Reese Schaefer. He's going to be clear from second place by at least half a truck length. Now Joseph Kazi getting pressure from Rob Hamp for second on that inside lane. However, Joseph Kazi has the run off turn number 2, heading into 3 and 4. And he'll now set his sights on race leader Reese Schaefer. Oh, little wiggle there a little bit further back. I think that was Justin Day. Looks like it was Justin Day there. He's going to lose some positions right there. Not sure if there's an issue, if maybe that was just a scary moment for him. Reese Hamilton, Eric Garrison, and then Derek Garrison right there in the mix as well. Oh, we got a caution out on track again. I think that's the 8 of Landon Matherson again. More issues for this 8 truck of Landon Matherson. Let's see, running this high side, did he just get loose? Let's take a look from a different camera angle. He was going to be put a lap down here from Reese Schaefer, and yeah, it looks like just trying to run that high side, trying to stay out the way, and went around right in front of the leaders. A scary moment for some of these guys behind them, trying to avoid a spinning 8, and right there at the last minute, I think that's Jason Miz in the 9, almost hit the 8 truck, trying to avoid that. And that's kind of one of the talk points we had earlier in the night. Lap trucks having issues in front of the leaders. We saw it right there. Fortunately, these drivers were able to avoid the spinning 8 truck. But it just goes to show how quick things can happen and how there's really not a lot of room to avoid incidents like those. Such a challenging track, and we've seen it so far tonight. A lot of guys having issues here with trying to keep their truck underneath them. A lot of self spin outs. We've had a few incidents that have involved contact from another truck, but we've seen a handful of drivers just lose it coming off of the corners. And I'm sure we're probably not done with that type of incident. We'll probably see a few more spins just with how slick this track is right now. Reese Schaefer, though, leading the field back to green. He's going to try and get another good restart and put a gap in place. Joseph Kazi. And he's going to do just that heading into 1 and 2. He's going to get clear of Joseph Kazi. And that's going to have Joseph Kazi now facing Colby Jackson for this second position. Still side by side for second place, Joseph Kazi Jackson. Oh, big slide right there from Colby Jackson. And he's going to go around. And he's going to bring out another caution here. This time there was no contact with any other truck. Just Colby Jackson, unfortunately, going around by himself. May have gotten a little bit of aero help from Joseph Kazi right there. Let's see. I'm not sure if he clipped the apron. He was very close if he didn't. Either way, though, around goes Colby Jackson, not collecting anybody else, but he will now lose all those positions once again, able to keep no damage to that truck. But unfortunately, another spin, another issue for Colby Jackson here early in this first half of the race. While we're under caution here, let's go ahead and take a look at our race recap so far. Lap 96 of 250, current race leader, Reese Schaefer. Been out front for quite a while. We're 6 cautions for 22 laps so far. And then we've only had 2 lead changes. That being Reese Schaefer, and I believe the only other one to lead was... Actually, I'm not quite sure who actually was the last leader. We'll have to go and take some looks at that. Still, not a lot of lead changes so far. And you might have noticed drivers picking their lanes. That is what we have in this league. You're able to pick your lane just like in real life. Kind of use the start-finish line as the choose cone. So that's going to push Rob Hamp up into this outside lane and give him a shot at Reese Schaefer. Green flag back in the air. Great restart by Reese Schaefer. Maybe a little bit of tire spin there in that 99 truck, but he's going to get going now. Less than 25 laps to go in this first stage. Again, stage 1 ends at lap 125. Garrison Brothers going at it for this 8th position. That Shoemaker in that Red Bull 54 machine right ahead. Last week's winner, Justin Levine, also getting up in the mix with them. Oh, Eric Garrison might have gotten a little bit of a nudge right there from Jordan Berry. You saw him go up the track a bit. And you'll see some drivers start to use their bumper if they are feeling like they are being held up. And that's when we see tempers flare. Good battle going on for this 11th and 12th position. Eric Garrison fighting hard on this outside. Colby Jackson trying to find his way back up through the field. Currently sitting in 14th position. And he's kind of see still a little bit of handling issues on this machine. Again, we'll have to see if he's able to manage it a little bit better this time. And we got issues on the racetrack. I'm not quite sure who it is this time. So if we can find out who exactly it was that is going to bring out this caution. I think it was the 9th truck of Jason Miz. Yeah, we'll take a look at it here. He was kind of running by himself back here. See if maybe he was just kind of running by himself back here in this position. I'm actually not sure what position he was in, and then yeah, it just looks like he looped it off of 4, and I think he disconnected from that incident. So Jason Miz bringing out caution here at lap about 112, I think it was, to be exact, or maybe about 111. This is going to set us up, though, for a very quick end to this first stage. We'll have probably about 10 laps to go, if not less than that, when we take the green flag again. And I like the lane choice here from Rob Hamp, putting himself on the high side once again. Worked out for him last restart. We'll see if he's able to hang on to it again, or if maybe Joseph Kazi has something to say there on that inside lane. But if I'm Rob Hamp, I think I'm going to try and push it a little bit more this time on this high side, and at least try and stay even with Reese Schaefer going into 1 and 2. We'll find out here in just a moment, though. Reese Schaefer taking the green flag. And we're back underway once again from Bristol Motor Speedway. Rob Hamp not getting the restart he needs. He'll fall back to 3rd. Joseph Kazi to 2nd. And a wild group of trucks back here from 5th to about 10th, all trying to go for this stage position. Bryce Shoemaker currently holding this last spot back here. We'll see what Colby Jackson does here. Maybe uses up a little bit more aggression, knowing that he has just a handful of laps in this first stage. And now that's going to put Bryce Shoemaker in a very bad spot, because he'll be having to battle Colby Jackson here for this last points paying position at the end of the stage. And a big slide there from Colby Jackson again, trying to give it his all. Oh, try to get underneath Bryce Shoemaker right there. And he's just going to have another handful coming off of turn number 2. Oh, and now contact, and that's going to send Colby Jackson into that outside wall. That was off the front bumper of Eric Garrison. And I'm not positive this may end the stage here. And I believe it will be the stage right there. So Reese Schaefer unofficially will get the stage win. Aaron K will be scored the first truck a lap down, I believe. And then we have a few trucks that are multiple laps down. drivers coming down to get their scheduled maintenance. We'll go ahead and take a look once again at the contact between Eric Garrison and Colby Jackson. It's a big slide right there, and Eric Garrison trying to get underneath. It looks like Eric might have just washed up a tad and sent Colby Jackson into that outside wall, and a little bit of contact there after, I think, from Justin Day. Let's take a look. Yeah, so Eric Garrison slides up just a hair, clips the 73, sends that 73 up into the outside wall. Not a lot of damage, and then trying to hang on to it. Justin Day just nowhere to go and drives into that rear end of Colby Jackson, and unfortunate night for Justin Day right there. He's going to get probably the worst end of that. You see a significant amount of damage on that front end of that 24 machine. Nothing of his doing, just unfortunately trying to avoid a spinning Colby Jackson. A shuffle up at the front of the field. Andrew Chapman, Joseph Kazi, Bryce Shoemaker. Those are now your top three drivers. Green flag back in the air. A great start by that 18 truck. A wiggle right there from Joseph Kazi is going to cost him second place. That's going to move Reese Schaefer up. Oh, and contact in the back. I think that's John Barry. John Barry with contact from another truck. I didn't see who it was. But we're going to be back under caution once again here. A quick caution after the end of that first stage at 125. And I say a quick caution at lap 25. You know, our caution really came a few laps before that with the incident of from Colby Jackson. So now John Barry is going to work his way down pit road, try and get his damage fixed. A lot of other race trucks also working their way down pit road to get some service as well. Oh, big wiggle right there out of John Barry. I mean, we talked about him having handling issues before, but that was a really scary moment for him and for, I think that was Derek Garrison to his outside. See, entering turns 3, he really just got loose on entry. And unfortunately, wasn't able to hang on to it and got the other Garrison brother, that was Eric Garrison, in that 5 machine. I'll go back to it here. So one Garrison avoids, one Garrison does not. Eric Garrison clipping a spinning John Barry right there. And another unfortunate bystander nothing of his doing. Issues continuing for some of these drivers out here, and because of that, race officials have decided we're going to go single file on this restart, but green flag back in the air. Oh, Colby Jackson back around here on this back straightaway. Another incident for Colby Jackson on the night. Unfortunately, that collected the 47 and the 37. Aaron Kay in the 37, Jim Foskett in the 47. Oh, I'm not sure if there was contact right there or not. It really didn't look like it. Let's see. Oh, maybe a slight bit of netcode. Looked like that truck kind of bounced a bit, and unfortunately both the 47 and the 37 not having anywhere to go, and both got into that spinning Colby Jackson once again. Not a good night for Colby Jackson. A little surprising with how many incidents we've had so far tonight. Race control definitely not pleased with the amount of cautions that we've had so far. They've been trying to clean up the early incidents and the amount of incidents that we've had the past few weeks. I know they've implemented some new rules and some new changes. One of those drivers, fortunately, I don't know if I'd say became a victim, but kind of got hit with the new rules. Was, let's see, actually I think it was Landon Burbage, I think. Yeah, it looks like it was Landon Burbage there who got suspended last week for causing too many cautions, and unfortunately is sitting out this week. Back up at the front though, green flag back in the air. Andrew Chapman leading the way. Reese Schaefer, Joseph Kazi hot on his heels. Bryce Shoemaker now challenging Reese Hamilton for this fourth position, but Rob Hamp says, I'll take that spot away from you. So now move Rob Hamp up to the fifth position, and Bryce Shoemaker back to sixth. Now getting pressure from Austin Edstrom. So not a good moment right there for Bryce Shoemaker, trying to get around Reese Hamilton. Lost that spot. or at least lost that challenge, and then lost a spot to Rob Hamp. Reese Schaefer now challenging for the race lead. He's to the inside of the 18, trying to make it stick, but that 18 fighting hard on that middle to high lane. A wiggle right there is going to cost Aaron the race lead, and now that's going to put Reese Schaefer back up front here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Joseph Kazi now going to set his eyes on the 18 and try and capitalize on these wiggles that this 18 truck is having coming off the exits. Oh, a spin from Rob Hamp and Reese Hamilton there. Caution out once again. Yeah, it didn't work out for either Rob Hamp or Reese Hamilton there, trying to make it side by side coming off of turn 2, I believe. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Was directly behind their, maybe a little bit of contact there on that left rear. Looks like just a little bit of contact in the left rear sent Rob Hamp around into that outside wall coming off of turn 2. Then collected Bryce Shoemaker. I think that's Brock Piper again. And then a kind of a parking lot here on the back straightaway. You see trucks just come to a complete stop, trying to let these guys sort it out when trying to get back around. And unfortunately, Rob Hamp gonna have the most damage out of the two of Reese Hamilton and himself. Let's see if we can get a good camera angle on this. I'm not sure if we have a good camera angle for this, but we'll go ahead and see if maybe we'll go to cockpit. So Rob Hamp washed up just a little bit, and I think Reese Hamilton tried to fill that hole, and unfortunately just really not anything that Rob Hamp could have done. Just unfortunate him to be coming out of that wreck with the most damage. Green flag back in the air. Reese Schaefer leading the way once again. Andrew Chapman able to pull away from Joseph Kazi there just a bit, and has a little bit of breathing room to be able to put some pressure on Reese Schaefer. And as I said, a big slide off of turn number 4. Oh, big moment right there, trying to get around the 47 of Jim Foskett. The 87 got loose underneath, able to hang on to it. Great job by those guys, but a very sketchy and scary moment there. Oh, Rob Hamp, a slide, and around he goes, and this is going to bring on another caution here. So another driver with another spin. This time it's Rob Hamp. He's been involved in at least 2 incidents tonight, and unfortunately this time it was him to himself. So racing the 75 here. And coming off of forward is maybe a little bit too much throttle to it, and around he goes, able to keep it off the inside wall there. But that's going to bring out another caution here. So continuing to have a lot of incidents here early on in this race. Still under single file for the restarts because of all the incidents that we've had. Reese Schaefer, Joseph Kazi, Reese Hamilton, Derek Garrison, Keith Shoemaker. Those are your top 5 drivers for the time being as we get set to go green once again. A good start out of Reese Schaefer. Joseph Kazi as well, able to hang in there. Reese Hamilton now says he wants a part of this battle for the top 3 positions as well. Reese Hamilton able to get underneath of Joseph Kazi, and he's going to try and apply pressure for the second position. And we've got carnage in the back once again. This time it looks like it's the 88 and the 75. Let's see what happened with Keith Shoemaker. And actually, we'll have to go back. I don't know if I actually, unfortunately, put a bookmark on that. Let's see if we can find exactly what happened with Keith here. I'll have to try and... Let's see. Oh, looks like he had a similar issue from what we saw a few cautions ago. Just went into 3 and 4, maybe applied a little bit too much gas to it, and around goes his race truck, collecting Eric Garrison, who looks like he unfortunately had to tow, and the 75 truck of Stony Benfield. Once again, let's see. Yeah, sends it in, and unfortunately just got loose halfway through the corner. Tried to save it. Unfortunately, not anywhere for Eric Garrison to go, and got into the back at Keith Shoemaker, and around goes the 5, the 88, and the 75, all in one corner. Reese Schaefer leading these guys back around. Green flag once again. Reese Hamilton directly behind. That's Derek Garrison in third position now. A lot of incidents tonight, and a lot in the last about 20 to 30 laps. We'll see if maybe we can get this green flag racing a shot again, or if maybe we'll have drivers with more incidents here. Austin Edstrom, Rob Hamp going at it for fourth position. Rob Hamp with that, I'd say, more preferred inside lane, but we've kind of seen it been a trouble spot so far tonight. Joseph Kazi, Austin Edstrom trying to make their way up to the leaders. Derek Garrison now trying to get around Reese Hamilton here for second position. However, right in front of them, Reese Schaefer pulling away ever so slightly, little by little, as these laps go on. And these drivers, I don't think battling side by side is going to help them. So whoever's able to really get clear of one another is more than likely going to benefit from this and be able to track down Reese Schaefer. You also want to be very cautious with the amount of incidents that we've seen when trying to get back on throttle. So I'm sure that's kind of in the back of these drivers' heads, as you see Derek Garrison right there have a little bit of an issue coming off of 4. He's going to lose some ground to that 4 machine. And that's going to open the door for Joseph Kazi to go ahead and take a look underneath him and now take away this third position from him. So Derek Garrison back to 4th, Joseph Kazi up to 3rd. Reese Hamilton able to hang on to 2nd place for the time being. See how long Reese Hamilton can hold off Joseph Kazi for their 2nd position. Reese Hamilton giving plenty of room there to Joseph Kazi. Now Joseph Kazi is going to take that 2nd position. See if maybe Derek Garrison can try and bottom lane work like Joseph Kazi has been. Brock Piper, Bryce Shoemaker going at it here for this 9th position. Brock Piper has it for the time being. John Barry and Stoney Benfield right here as well behind him. John Barry trying to make some ground up from those incidents about 40-50 laps ago, trying to get some spots back. And you wonder what's going through the mind of John Barry. You know, you've had a few scary moments. You've been collected. You've had your own moments. And right now, running 10th, kind of just got to continue to do what you've been doing, minus the wrecking. Just continue to put some decent laps down, keep the truck clean, and hopefully get out of here with a top 10 finish. I know that would probably be a win for John Barry in this 10 truck. Back up front, Reese Hamilton, Derek Garrison going at it. The 87 of Austin Edstrom right there as well. He's closed in on these two. And actually, if anything, the top 2 have pulled away just a little bit as they go side by side for the race lead. That's Joseph Kazi and Reese Schaefer. Reese Schaefer trying to put up a fight on this high side, just not able to make it stick. And that's going to put Joseph Kazi to the race lead at lap 195. And now the battle is on for about 4th on back. And if you're Derek Garrison, you kind of got clear of these guys for a moment. But that 87 was kind of hunting you down, so I would not be surprised if the 87 goes up here and gives this one truck a run for its money. And Reese Hamilton's in the wall. Major issues for Reese Hamilton here. Looks like he's going to have to try and bring it down to pit road. Maybe not. Still going strong for the time being, but heavy right front damage. And now it looks like he's going to try and get below the apron and bring it down to pit road. See what exactly happened right here. Racing Rob Hamp. Oh, Rob Hamp got in there hot and sent the Ford into that outside wall, and heavy contact for both of those drivers, but the Ford truck definitely has that right front knocked out a bit. Ford truck still sitting on pit road, getting his damage fixed. Rob Hamp, though, still out on track. Doesn't really look like he's deciding to bring it down pit road. Brock Piper and this 15 truck now applying pressure to this one and the 18 in front of him. Maybe trying to get a 2-for-1. Not quite able to make it stick there that time by. So now he's going to go to the outside of Derek. See if maybe he can get that pass. And looks like he will. So Brock Piper now up to 4th place. Derek Garrison losing that spot, and also losing a spot to the 87 in the process of that. So Derek Garrison back to 6th. Doesn't really have to worry. He's got a pretty decent gap until that 7th place truck. Joseph Kazi shooting out like a rocket ship, over 2.5 seconds over Reese Schaefer right now. And then after these guys, you have to go back almost another 2.5 seconds to this 3rd place battle. So tires definitely coming into play now. Strategy as well. Who's willing to push harder and who's willing to save? Joseph Kazi working around some lat traffic. That's the 8 truck of Landon Matherson, currently 4 laps down. Colby Jackson now being put a lap down as well. His handling issues coming back into play on this longer run. And we questioned if Colby Jackson would be able to hang on in these runs. And you see it right there, just not able to hang on to it in these corners. Very loose race truck. His rear end is coming out from underneath him just about every time off exit. So Colby Jackson, if he wants to continue to try and make up some spots, he's going to need to figure out something here late in this race and try and find some sort of speed. Austin Edstrom, Bryce Shoemaker, John Barry, Derek Garrison. Those 4 drivers under a blanket, all going for this 5th position. All right, as we have a moment here for a quick commercial, we're going to go side by side, but you guys will not miss a thing here. We'll keep you guys live in the action, and we'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Showdown Truck Series. You are live from Bristol Motor Speedway, and another caution, this time for Justin Levine. Again, last week's winner, Justin Levine, having issues here late in this race. We'll have to go back a little bit and see exactly where it happened because I didn't quite catch it in the moment. Oh, looked like, again, just another issue here on this high side. Got loose, hit the right rear on that outside wall pretty hard. Able to keep it going, but definitely not what Justin Levine wanted. And this is going to bunch up the field once again. So that big lead that Joseph Kazi and Reese Schaefer had, might as well just erase it because now it's everyone's chance to get this win. We'll see if Joseph Kazi is able to get another great restart and pull away. He's going to lead the field to green. Green flag back in the air. We're going to have 17 laps to go here. Joseph Kazi able to defend this race lead away from Reese Schaefer for the time being at least. Under 15 laps to go. Bryce Shoemaker now moving his way up to third position. And directly behind him we have a handful for this fourth position. The 18 has it, the 1 wants it, and the 74 wants both of them. Now, will this go green? That is the question that we've had tonight, all night. Lots of wrecks happening, lots of spins. 12 laps to go this time by, and the lead is heating up. Reese Schaefer now right there on Joseph Kazi's back bumper. Reese Schaefer not letting Joseph Kazi out of his sight. That's a truck in the wall in the background. Still going green. Under 10 laps to go, 8 to be exact. Lap traffic ahead, that's Justin Levine in that 33 truck right ahead of these two leaders. Reese lost a little bit of time right there in 3 and 4. Justin Levine pulling way out the way. Not affecting these two guys going for the race win. We'll have 6 laps to go this time by. They'll have at least one more slow truck in front of them. That's a 10 truck of Jordan Berry. He's just going to pull high and let these guys go. And I think that may have hurt Reese just a little bit. You see him lose another half a truck length. He's still in contention, though, as we have 4 laps to go. Reese Schaefer trying to hold strong. A little bit of a wall tap right there. A great set of corners. He's going to close back up on Joseph Koski's back bumper. The lead now back down to half a truck length, if even that. 2 laps to go. The lap truck of Landon Matheson. Where will he go? We're going to hit a caution. A late race caution, just moments away from taking the white flag. And now these drivers are going to set themselves up for another late race finish. What happened to Reese Hamilton? Let's take a look. Oh. Trying to work around the lap truck of Justin Levine, and I'm not quite sure what happened there. Definitely a checkup that kind of started that, but Rob Ham just really misjudged that. Maybe tried to avoid the 33 truck as well, but either way, misjudged that and got into the back of that 4 truck and sent that 4 truck hard into that outside wall. And now Reese Hamilton, who had a good night going, is going to now be scored in 16th. What will you do if you're Derek Garrison or John Barry? And how big of a jump, or maybe not of a jump, do you do if you're Joseph Koski here? Do you go right away, or do you maybe wait and try and stack up the field? On this restart, you only have really 2 laps if it goes green. I know we do have a chance of going more than that with this overtime attempt. We have unlimited overtime attempts, but you can't really go based off of relying on multiple chances. So if you're Derek Garrison, John Barry, Brock Piper, this could be your one shot here when we get the green flag. What are you willing to do? Joseph Koski, though, trying to hold off these hungry drivers behind him. He's going to take the green flag here in just a moment when this pace truck pulls off. Green flag back in the air. We're under the last couple of laps. Joseph Koski has it. Derek Garrison wants it. Derek Garrison is right there. He's so close. Coming off of turn 4. We're going to see the white flag. Derek Garrison giving it his all. He's going to work this high side. Try and maybe diamond the corner. But at the front, it's not going to matter. Joseph Koski is going to be able to hang on and get the win here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Drivers giving Joseph Koski the congratulatory bump here. Teammates as well giving him a little bit of love. We'll get a word with our winner in just a moment. He's going to work his way down the victory lane here. And then we'll meet him up there once he gets to victory lane. All right, folks, give us just a second to let these drivers get into voice chat here, and then we'll start off with our winner, and then we'll speak with a few other drivers. Looks like our race winner is in voice chat. Let me give him just a second to get his stuff set up. Joseph Kazi, you got a copy there, buddy. I think there was an issue with the push to talk, if I'm correct. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're just talking to ourselves. We'll give him a second. Oh.
All right. I didn't know we had push to talk going on here, so here we are.
Yeah, I kind of forgot to mention that to Bryce. That's yeah. I realized when you joined the voice chat down there, I was like, oh, that's yeah, that's a thing still. Either way though, it doesn't matter because the only push button you're doing is the victory burnouts here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Congrats on the win. Very long race, kind of really eventful, up and down night really for everybody. What really was the deciding factor for you as a driver when you're able to get out front there and challenge Reese for the race win?
I mean, Reese had this locked down. It was going to be so hard to chase him down or try to make the pass and make it happen. The deciding factor was me taking those tires when I decided to, and just taking the gamble that we was not going to get another yellow or someone was going to bring out another yellow, and we got that long run. I was just able to run away, and then when we went in the pits, I had time to make sure I didn't have to make no mistakes. I didn't have to have no mistakes in the pits, which I had such a lead going into the pits when we got the yellow. It wasn't that big of a deal to me, and then I just knew I just had to keep it in front of them and not make the mistakes I had been. I got it loose in front of Reese when I was able to pass him in the pits the one time, and I was just like, we just got to scrub those mistakes right there, and then we will be good. And that's what we did.
Yeah, you talk about mistake-free night. You definitely had a few mistakes this season and towards the end of last season. Definitely cleaned them up, and going on through the season, I know at a place like this, you really don't want to screw up with how many laps you can go down at a place like this. But a lot of mistakes were made tonight by other drivers. Just kind of give me your word on like what exactly you think the major issue was for a lot of handling for these drivers out there tonight.
Probably the practice. Uh, like I got to race this before in a different league, racing this truck here, and I knew coming in what the deal was gonna be. Like this track, it was gonna be loose. It was gonna be hard to drive. It was not gonna be easy. And what it wasn't gonna be just straightforward. Oh, I could just dive it into the corner. And, mostly it'll stick. It wasn't like that. You had to actually make sure you were backing up corners kind of semi sort of, and not just throwing it off in there because you were going to spin out.
And we definitely saw a lot of drivers spin out tonight. And actually a lot of innocent bystanders as well got caught up in that, unfortunately. But going on to next week's track, let's take a look. I can't really exactly remember what next week is. I guess 2 weeks from now. Yeah, 2 weeks from now to be exact. Chicagoland. What are your thoughts on Chicagoland, and what do you expect for yourself from that track?
That's gonna be another fast track, just like Vegas. Hopefully we could clean up, like a little bit better. We could be a little bit better than what we was in Vegas. Everybody as a whole. We've been getting better. I thought this race was probably a little. We probably had more caution this race here than Vegas, but as a whole, I think the race was acceptable as far as caution wise. It was going to be hard. This track was going to be very hard. So hopefully we could keep the trend of it going, better, and nobody trying to kill each other out here.
I think a lot of drivers would be happy with the trend of not killing one another. But for you, again, doesn't matter. You were able to escape with a victory. And congrats again. Thank you for taking a moment to speak with us. Is there any sponsors you'd like to thank? Any shout outs you'd like to give before I let you go?
Thank Jordan Berry for the paint job. Thanks to broadcast. Thanks to League for putting on the show, man. Thanks for everybody that did come out, that did show up. Our numbers been looking great. We keep it up. I mean, the race has been, well, we're getting there. We're getting better. Everybody's getting better. Everybody's getting to know each other, and that's all. That's all counts. And we could get these long, clean races going on like we was.
I like that, and I think the league will definitely improve from here on out and throughout the rest of the season. Once again, congrats Joseph Kazi on the win, and hopefully we can be speaking to you in 2 weeks' time, as long as you don't eat too much this week for Thanksgiving. Hopefully we can be seeing you here in 2 weeks. Thank you again, and go celebrate your win.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Oscar. Appreciate it.
That was Joseph Kazi, our race winner here at Bristol Motor Speedway tonight. I'd say probably a really what am I trying to say? A statement out of Joseph Kazi to be able to win here tonight, to be able to go and pass Reese, who, like we heard him say, probably had this race locked up if that strategy hadn't played out when it did, and was able to go up there past Reese Schaefer and held on to it on that final overtime attempt. Now we'll go ahead and talk with two of our other drivers that are standing by. John Barry in the 74 truck here, able to finish out in third place. A few scary moments out there tonight for you. I know you were involved in at least one, if not two wrecks, but still able to manage and get a third place finish. Tell me a little bit about how your night went from your perspective.
It was pretty much an upward roller coaster. It started off horrible, got progressively worse, then all of a sudden it got really good. And I don't know how, but that was probably one of the worst driving trucks. Like the first half of that race was probably the worst driving trucks I think I've had in a long time. And like that long green flag run to almost cap off the race, I found someone that actually drove okay. So yeah.
And you talk about needing to find stuff there on that green flag run. I know we didn't really get a lot, and some drivers kind of expecting more green flag runs than we have been getting. How difficult is that from a driver perspective, more from your perspective, when trying to get practice laps in, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work, and just kind of how the track settles in as the runs go on?
Yeah, you just kind of never really get into a rhythm where you go, a couple laps, oh, and there's a caution. Oh, you go a couple more laps, oh, there's another caution, and you never really kind of figure out what exactly the truck, what you need to do with the truck, because you go so few laps, you don't even get heating tires, and you don't know how it's going to wear, what's the balance going to be after 30, 40 some laps. And also, it doesn't help when they wreck, and oh, they're wrecking, I should stop, and the guys behind me like, I feel like being part of the wreck. I don't feel like stopping, and people murder each other, and it was cool to see it happen to other people. It wasn't cool when it happened to me. So yeah, the constant cautions, not a big fan.
Yeah, I think you speak for a lot of drivers. It's definitely not fun when you realize you have a car either coming down the track in front of you or coming up in front of you, and unfortunately you get collected in an incident none of your doing. But going on to our next track, Chicagoland, very interesting track, I'd say. I mean, it's not interesting in a bad way. It's just another mile and a half from going from Las Vegas, which is kind of similar speeds. Saw a lot of cautions there. What really would be your, like, I'd say standard, or like what is your standard and what is your goal set for Chicagoland in 2 weeks?
Chicagoland's one of my better tracks than Kansas, so since it's one of my better tracks, I fully expect myself to be upside down in the fence on fire. But I don't know. As long as we get like a decent green flag run, the thing's not like absolutely wrecking loose, or I'm going to knock the wall down tight. I think top five's doable. Maybe a win. I don't know. Like, it seems like it's kind of random. We'll show up to one of these races and someone's like insanely good, and the next week that same person's really bad. So I really don't know what to judge off of, but there seems like there's quite a few people here that are top echelon. They're pretty good, but I'm hoping for a top five, but hoping not to die.
You know what? I like that answer. I like that answer a lot. Before I let you go, is there any shout outs you'd like to give? Any sponsors you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my wife for letting me waste my time downstairs and play video games. Appreciate that. I appreciate my company I work for, AGS, for not firing me yet. I give them plenty of opportunities to get rid of me, but they hire people who are worse than me, which makes me look better. So I appreciate for them paying me money, so I have a house to race. Otherwise, I'll be out on the side of the street racing and asking for money off ramp strangers. And I like to thank the guys who wrecked, so I was able to pass them. But then I also wrecked, so I don't want to thank me anymore. I just want to thank the racetrack for letting me live.
I like every answer you've given me so far, and hopefully we can have some more moments to speak with you in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully at Chicagoland we'll be able to speak to you again. Hopefully not in the catch fence on the fire upside down, but you know what? if that does happen, maybe we'll have to get you into the booth for an interview as well.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that update iRacing that where we can get catch on fire so we can run out and put the fire out. But I think that might be a little bit too much for this game. But hopefully in a later update we get the fire physics.
All right, I love that. All right, thank you, John, for being able to take a moment and speak with us, and hopefully we'll be able to speak with you in 2 weeks' time.
Yep, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That was John Berry, third place finisher. Very honest answers, and honestly, I loved each answer from him. Did not hesitate to lie in any of those. Next up, our final driver that we do have standing by is Derek Garrison. Let's go ahead and get him up in the booth here. Derek Garrison finishing in second place tonight. I wouldn't say you had an up and down night. I mean, you had some scary moments there, but overall, we're able to come home second, and not to mention you were also the Raps by J&B Hard Charger Award. So tell me a little bit about your night and what it really looked like from your perspective.
Yeah, it was fun at the get go. The long green flag runs that I really love long green flag runs. Oh yeah, we started in the back and we clawed our way up to the front and just kind of dodge and weave and make sure we didn't get in a wreck and just stayed in it and somehow we finished second. But I had a lot of fun. I love Bristol. Love short tracks in general. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you talk about short tracks. This is definitely one of the most demanding and harder short tracks on the schedule. We saw it tonight about almost every couple of laps somebody was having an issue, either spinning out or drivers making contact. From your point of view, what really do you think was the biggest factor in the cautions that we had tonight?
Uh, I mean, you really had to slow down for the corners. A lot of people were just pushing the issue, just throwing the truck plumb into the corner and overdriving it pretty much, and it just didn't stick for some reason tonight. Uh, I think that was the biggest issue, and the people on the outside would try to crowd the people on the inside down a little bit, and I guess it'll cause an arrow loose, and people will just kind of lose it. Uh, but more than like I don't know. Yeah, people just blew the corner pretty much.
And I have to agree with you on that. I think we saw a lot of people just kind of overdrive and not really understand how much grip they had in their truck tonight. And unfortunately, a lot of drivers involved in incidents that were none of their doing. One being your brother, actually, Eric Garrison. We had seen your brother and you actually. Well, you avoided one of the wrecks, and your brother unfortunately didn't avoid it. So I guess lucky to be this Garrison tonight, and unfortunate for the other half of you. But going on to Chicagoland in 2 weeks' time, really tell me about how that track is for you and what really your feelings are for that.
Uh, Not sure yet. We'll see when we get there. I don't even think I run the trucks at Chicagoland yet, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be like any other mile and a half track. So just try to stay up front and stay in the draft, I guess, unless they have an update on these trucks before then. Uh, but yeah, we'll just see when we get there.
All right, Derek. Before I let you go, is there any sponsors you'd like to thank or any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, Bryce as an admin, for the broadcast. Without you guys, this league wouldn't be possible. So this is my home. I love this league and can't wait to return to Chicagoland. And happy Thanksgiving for everybody.
Excited we will be for Chicagoland, and we will also be excited, I think, all to eat a lot of food. Thank you,
Yeah,
Derek, for
thank
taking
you.
a minute to speak with us, and I'll let you go ahead and continue on with your night.
Thank you, Bryce. I mean, Oscar, sorry.
Oh, okay. Minus 1 point. All right. There was your top three finishers. Does not look like we have any other drivers standing by for the time being. So we'll go ahead and wrap things up here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and take a look at our race results. Joseph Kazi again coming out with Derek Garrison, who we just spoke to, also coming out with the Hard Charger Award, from 15th of being able to finish second. He'll get that again. That is given out every week to the hard charging driver of the race. John Berry finishing third. Brock Piper, Austin Edstrom, Reese Schaefer, Cody Jackson, Stoney Benfield, Bryce Shoemaker, Justin Day. Those are your top 10 drivers. Reese Schaefer, after almost being able to come out with the win, finishing sixth. Not really the night he'd probably want, but still overall able to survive and come out with a semi-decent finish. Going on to the we got Rob Hamp, Justin Levine last week's winner, of course, at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Landon Matherson, Andrew Chapman, Reese Hamilton, Jim Foskett, Keith Shoemaker, Eric Garrison, Aaron Kay, And then rounding out the field will be Jason Miz, who unfortunately, 140 laps down, had an early exit to the race. And like I said just a moment ago, Hard Charger went to Derek Garrison. We'll take a look here at the schedule. Again, we'll be off next Sunday for Thanksgiving. We'll allow these drivers to spend time with their family and friends. Then we'll come back December 7th to head to Chicagoland Speedway. Followed after that, we'll go to Nashville Super Speedway and Lime Rock Park. And that will end out this current 2025 year. Then going into the new year, we'll begin with a bang at Richmond Raceway, followed by Michigan, Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, also known as IRP. Then we head to Mexico City, a really interesting road course layout. It'll be the first time for many drivers. And then our regular season finale will be Charlotte Motor Speedway. And then our playoffs will start at Iowa Speedway for the first round of the playoffs. And that will feature Texas Motor Speedway, Echo Park Speedway, also known as the new Atlanta Motor Speedway. And then we head back in time to Atlanta Motor Speedway 2008, the legacy layout of Atlanta. That'll be a very challenging track for some of these drivers. I think a lot of wear and tear. And then another difficult track will be Dover, followed by pretty much whoever has the best luck at Talladega. And then we head to the round of 4 for Kansas, Martinsville, and our season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway. A very tough and upcoming schedule for some of these drivers. And I think a lot of these drivers are definitely going to take this week off, try and reset a bit, and try and just forget about tonight's race. Again, a lot of these drivers, unfortunately, just bystanders of incidents that were none of their doings, and others maybe not having the night they wanted. I know we saw Colby Jackson have a few incidents, and I think if you're maybe Eric Garrison with that one win, these wrecks really don't hurt you too much for points. It's just kind of a confident decreaser, or just not really good for your hopes and dreams into the playoffs, wanting good runs early in the season so you can rack up as many points as possible, but still have plenty of time before we do start these playoffs. Before we add anything else, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time from Chicagoland Speedway. Can't wait to get things underway from there. Once again, big shout out to Joseph Kazi. Congrats on the win. Hopefully you're having a fun time. You're always a joy to talk to you and always sound so pumped. With that though, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys at Chicagoland Speedway in just a few weeks.
Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Don't count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What a victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough?
A dominant performance.
You're gonna say no, baby. Let's go!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.